Me and my friends started the SLAMwich team for our love of Yu-Gi-Oh! One of the best ways to rank a player nowadays and get clout is through the DuelingBook ranking system, and whilst not all of them play on DuelingBook, I have set myself the challenge to become the highest ranked SLAMwich with my favourite deck, Giant Ballpark Insects. The bar is not set particularly high, so let's see how well we can do. Hello and welcome back. Apologies for the last video being so long. I'll try and keep it a bit shorter today. We've only got 4 games today instead of 6, so that should keep it a bit shorter. But yeah, let's look at what we've done with the deck, and not much has changed, let's be honest. I've changed one thing, and that's changing the Trap Fix Raffle for the Underworld Goddess of the Closed World. And of course that reduces our main deck by 1 as we get rid of the Trap Hole. What I've alluded how this is kind of interesting to use. I think it'll be quite nice, especially that we can clear the board and use plenty of resources to set this up for the next turn. Because what's quite interesting about this card is you can use your opponent's monster to summon it, and so that means we can use it in our opponent's turn with IP, which is really nice. So what it does is it can blanket negate anything on any monster on the field, and then also once per turn summon negate a summon out of the grave, essentially, if they use like a monster reborn or anything like that. It also can't be is unaffected by things that target it, so imperm unaffected by things that do not target it. So Barrel Salvage can't negate it, Appaloosa can't negate it, Lightning Storm, whatever. It's really good. I mean, imperm will negate it, but not many people are running imperm right now. Anyhow, I think it's just a really cool card, and it's worth a try. But yeah, let's get into the games and see how it goes. So game 1 is against Altergeist, and Altergeist classically is not a very good matchup for Ballpark. Decks that were very heavy on traps, hand traps, and then can end on very easy spell negates, which obviously Altergeist can do, is very annoying. That coupled with Silquetus and the horse one, Conquery? Yeah, that one's very annoying. I've had Ballpark negated a plethora of times by that horse bastard. Anyhow, this he's opened quite nice for him. I mean, Double Strike is not the best, obviously, because you will have to drop 3k to negate 2 things. But I mean, double negate is still good, and also he's opened the Extravagance, and we have not opened anything to respond. Our hand is looking not amazing, to be brutally honest. Having the Red Ice Fusion and the Red Ice is not great, but we've got board clear, we've got access to Ballpark, which is really great. So obviously he'll resolve Extravagance, setting, drawing a Torrential and a Spoofing off that, and so setting 4, and then obviously having the Multifaker in hand, ready to do his horrible stuff. Anyhow, so we're going to draw Lightning Storm for a turn, and that is gorgeous, and that's why we play this deck, to activate Lightning Storm to clear 4 off the board, and that's such satisfaction against these sort of decks. Anyhow, he activates Spoofing in response to then shuffle his Multifaker and then add another Multifaker to summon that. Anyhow, he summons Multifaker and then summons Silquetus. For some bizarre reason, we've activated Set Rotation. In reality, you should uncard your number. Absolutely. I don't know why I decided to do this round, but whatever. We'll just continue it. So we set Ballpark to our field and then Mystic Line to their field. What is this? I don't know what that is. I mean, it's definitely a Ballpark. Is that some sort of speed duel card? No, rush duel. Oh my god, how bizarre. Anyway, that is Ballpark, trust me. I'm not sure how we would have set it otherwise if it was a legend monster 4-star. But anyhow, we then Kaiju Slumbered to clear the board, giving him the Humongous. We then activated Ballpark again, see, told you, and then normal summoned our Squatter. We then punched over the Kaiju to summon our 3 bugs and summon 3 Insect Knights, and then hit for 7-9 damage. No, not 7-8 damage. He ashes in response to our Ballpark, and then we explained to him he can't do that because it's in damage calc. I know I can. He was very confident he could ash it, but obviously he couldn't. Anyhow, it's game 2. We side obviously a lot more back row hate, and he just normal summons Marionetta and sets 2. Haunted Rock is interesting. That's never played in any Altergeist deck, so I'm not even going to read it because it's trash. And also we've drawn Lightning Storm for turn for in our opening hand, which is fantastic. So we're going to get the nice satisfaction again. Actually, I believe we will. In hindsight, it might be better to Kaiju in case they had like spoofing or something like that set. But you never know what they have in their opening hand. But so whatever, it doesn't really matter in this case. So Lightning Storm will resolve, and then he'll activate. He'll chain the protocol, and then activate his multiplier from hand, summon the Silkweeters. We'll then Kaiju over the Silkweeters, obviously learning from our past mistake, thinking he might bounce the Kaiju Slumber in our hand or whatever and do something weird. But anyhow, we'll then activate Slumber, and I think he realizes at this point we've drawn far too well each turn, so that's very nice for us. Anyhow, against Altergeist, we're happy with that. We're always happy to win against Altergeist. But yeah, I think we drew a bit too lucky that time, so maybe we're going to get some unlucky in the future. So game 2, and we are against Dragon Link. We've won the die roll, so we get to go second, which is wonderful as always. Dragon Link is usually a very difficult matchup purely because they can push out 5+ negates and have recursion for the next turn, and also with, as we saw last week, VFD, which is very annoying. This guy, however, was playing a variant of the deck I have never seen before, and I have still no idea what he does. But so for turn, for his opening hand, he's got Blackmail Dragon, Legionnaire, Quick Launch, Cyclone, which just the worst, and obviously a Rocket Synchron. But anyhow, for turn we've drawn okay. All we really need from this hand is a normal summon off the top, and we are absolutely off to the races. Double negate, double interruption, Ballpark, and a removal. Fantastic stuff. And we're just going to move through a lot of his combo right now because it's normal Dragon Link stuff, but with weird twists. It's quick launching there, so the Rocket Synchron, Boot Sector, blah blah blah. That was an interesting, that's when I was kind of like, oh, that's kind of weird, adding the Ravine instead of the Lance. But anyhow, we'll just ignore that. He's doing weird combos. I mean, this is a new card they've run now, which is very interesting, which dumps 5 things in the graveyard, which is really quite scary if you think about it. Anyway, we imperm the right place, we imperm the LP, which stops a lot of their combos, which is really good. He then makes Pisty and doesn't look at the arrows of this dragon, so he can't use Pisty there. But anyhow, we'll just move on. Finally, he's got a dragon with arrows there now. Summons Legionnaire, which is Legionnaire is honestly one of the worst cards. I really despise Legionnaire. Like, it's so annoying. Just ripping your card is so strong. I really believe this card should have been banned like 2 ban lists ago. It's just so annoying. Anyhow, so he passes on Boral Guard, Mini Boral, a Legionnaire, a Dialingus, and a Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dilingus, I don't know, and that Red MD. And obviously a set Cyclone, which is unfortunately the only thing here, which is the issue. And for turn, we've drawn very well. We've got Gold Sarc, which gives us access to any normal summon we'd like. So anyhow, let's so we activate Gold Sarc, banishing the Resonance, sending Gokupole, adding Insect Knight, special the Insect Knight, and popping the Legionnaire. With Kaiju over the Boral Guard, because at the time we didn't realise, but it can't be destroyed by card effects, which is a very annoying thing, which we'll come to later on. Activate our Ballpark, and then in the battle phase, he activates Cyclone. Very sad. Anyhow, we then hit over the Mini Boral, link into Link Spider, and then normal summon our Ash to summon the Verti Anaconda. And I'll give you the long and short of this. He thought I was cheating somehow. I don't know why. I think he thought I was summoning the Ash off the Link Spider, or maybe he thought I normaled the Insect Knight or something. But yeah, he just claimed I was like cheating. So I had to explain to him, Link 2, we pay cost, and we burn for a good amount. Anyhow, he basically draws bad for turn, and we've won that game easily. Having 1 negate on the field for him was apparently too much. Anyway, next game we've put a few more hand traps in the form of Nibiru's and Lanciers into the deck, which means we can hopefully try and interrupt him, but we haven't drawn any. We've drawn an Imperm, which is occasionally okay. We can stop that LP again, which is good. For turn, he's drawn. I actually don't know if it's good. I actually don't know. I think Blackmail's good, right? That's a combo starter. Anyway, Absolutors is kind of good because if you discard it, you can get its effect. And obviously, Legionnaire again in the opening hand, which is such a pain. Ugh, hate that card. That is quite good. Specials from hand, and then he gets a draw on the link summon. Anyhow. So adding boot sector, and then link those two into the thing, adding the ravine again. This is relatively normal Dragon Link. This was quite interesting. How early on he made Boral Savage. I've never seen them make it that early. Is that under 5 summons? No, it wouldn't be. But still, weird. Kind of weird. I don't know if I vibe with it. Anyhow, he's done Chainlink 1, Boral Savage, Chainlink 2, Romulus. Just Romulus will summon an extra dragon out the hand, which is kind of and also after this point we won't have any way to negate anything, because obviously the Boral Savage will protect. We know we can get over one negate Boral Savage because we've got Kaiju and we've got other things in our hand, so we know we can get over it if we leave it on the field. So we imperm the Romulus so it doesn't get an extra special from hand. But yeah, doing normal stuff and then hit our parallel again. It's weird how sometimes games like this just seem to mirror each other. Like the last game, we drew gold Sarc for turn, an imperm and a parallel, and the parallel got shuffled back by the same card that he drew for turn. You know what I mean? So that's kind of weird. I wonder whether the randomization mechanic of Dueling Book is okay. You okay, hun? You doing okay? Anyhow, that's kind of upsetting because we can't do many combos through this. Anyway, he's summoned all those, used those all for to make a Boral Guard. We don't know why. I don't know why. He doesn't explain it. Anyway, he gets the Pisty, unfortunately. LP, sorry, and gets the effect. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, but that was it. Yeah, that was it. Striker doesn't pop itself to add back the Tracer and then pass on a 1 negate Boral Guard. I can't work out what the Boral Guard's for the life of me. Anyhow, so we Kaiju over the Boral Savage just to be annoying. We put it under his zone of the LP, and then we get Gold Sarc sending Resonance, sending Gekaball, adding Resonance, and then normal summoning the Resonance to link into Almirage. And then Resonance adding the Kaiju to our hand, so we can get a special summon, banish those 2 for the Doomdozer, and then special into the Anaconda. So this is where we realise that we can't pop Boral Guard. So maybe it would have been better to negate to Kaiju over it, but I mean, I'm not sure if I'd be able to combo through 1 negate, honestly, because I had such a poo hand. But anyway, it's not the end of the world. So yeah, we burn it for the damage, and we have to really pass there. I mean, we have the Dragoon, which is good, but anyhow, he realizes that he can't really combo unless he does anything. So he crashes the Boral Guard, goes straight to battle phase, crashes the Boral Guard into our Dragoon, and then proceeds to do Dragon Link stuff. But unfortunately, because he's gone to battle phase, he can't really OTK us this turn, which is great. And for turn, we've drawn Mystic Line. We don't love to see it, but when we see it, boy does he save the day. So he's got nothing on field. I don't know if he sided out the Cosmics or something, but he's just like, yep, I can't out that or something. So he just scoops, and then that's it. He calls us a nice monkey. I'm begging him, just like, please tell me what the Boral Guard was for. Please tell me, and he just doesn't. So we'll never know what this deck was meant to be. Anyhow, win's a win. And on to game 3. Can we get 3 games in a row now against Chicken Relic? We'll see. So this is against Shaddoll Eldritch. An interesting matchup, I imagine, because you want to send things from your hand. Maybe the Golden Lord's quite good. I'm not really sure. It's probably going to honestly end on, what's it called? Schism and Eldritch cards, I imagine. But today he's drawn a lot of Shaddolls, and I imagine he also likes quite going second with his Shaddoll fusion and such. Anyhow, we've drawn for turn an Ash, Mystic Mine, Ballpark, Squadder, and Kokopole, which is pretty good. We have 1 bait, we have a Ash Blossom for the interruption, and we have removal and Ballpark. He sets 1 pass. That's all he does. This should be absolutely golden for us. We've drawn a Gold Sarc, which is fantastic. We should have gone absolutely to the races with this one, take it as far as we could. All we did was normal summon a Gokipole and attack. So this is our first error. Right, so always make sure if you're attacking a face down monster that you're attacking with the lowest attack that you have. If it's a 0, perfect, fine. If it does, it won't get destroyed, so you're going to still use it for link material later on. And also, you're going to guarantee, unless the set monster has 0 attack or 0 defense, obviously, you're going to guarantee that Ballpark will trigger. If you just normal summon anything with with a regular attack, it's going to just kill it, and that's going to be the end of the story. You're not going to activate Ballpark or whatever. So this is a super big error on my part, because now I'm not going to end on anything. I'm going to end on maybe a Dragoon, and that's it. Whereas like before, I could have ended on, the access to the goddess. I could have done Picophilia combo. I could have done loads of stuff with that, but because I'm just daft, I can't. Anyhow, we'll link that into Anaconda, and then we'll make Dragoon, and then pass. In fairness, we've got a pretty good hand in the form of Ash and one negate from the Dragoon. So we'll negate the... He didn't really give me a chance to respond there, but we'll negate the El Shaddai fusion. With Dragoon, and then he'll activate Shaddai Fusion, and we'll Ash that because obviously it can send from deck because we have extra monsters on the field. He sets 2 and pass, and we'll activate Dragoon activate Dragoon to pop the set card. He'll then send down the Wendy off the Squamata, and we'll negate the Wendy. We probably should have waited for the Schism, honestly. It's not the end of the world because we know we can get around it, but it's just I can't really remember what Wendy did. I think it special summoned. It's sent to graveyard. You can special summon one Shaddai monster from a deck face down position. This is the issue because obviously he would summon something like Falco, or something that would further his turn and make it more difficult for us. So I thought, kill it in the bud there. If he summons a construct, whatever, we can kaiju it or whatever. But I think he ends up summoning a Winder, which is a bit more difficult, obviously with only one special summon to get over it, which is fine. But anyhow, we'll Gold Sarc banishing. Did he Gold Sarc again in the opening hand? What is it with Gold Sarc? Easy one of. Anyway, we'll banish Resonance to send Gokipol, then add as the Resonance. Then normal Resonance was allowed, and then we'll just link those 2 into a Unicorn, shuffling back the Winder. Means no effect for him. Fantastic. And then obviously the Resonance will give us a Doomdozer, which is great stuff. We'll banish 2, summon the Doomdozer, and then hit for game. Well, he will scoop, but yeah. So for siding wise, I think we side a few like back row hate, and that's about it really, because I know he's going to try and set a bunch of stuff. Anyhow, surprisingly, he's made us go first, which, I mean, I say surprisingly, he's obviously not sided a lot of his traps, and it seemed to be kind of more of a trap-heavy Shaddai, like pure Shaddai deck. But anyway, we didn't expect this, and we've kind of got not very good. Anyhow, this is why we are running double link spider, because if we open 2 of those, the little cheeky normally boys, those little normies, we can make a Dragoon, which is fantastic. And we have an Imp in hand, which means we can do stuff. And a Gold Sarc in the opening hand. There he is. I cannot fathom why. Just just keeps coming around. Anyhow, so we link those 2 into Anaconda, hoping he hasn't got anything to negate it, which he doesn't, and we summon a Dragoon and set an Imp. He's set 1 and set Trap Trick, and that's it. So I really don't know Shaddai's well enough to know if there's any combo here. I guess not. I guess you need a spell to ditch things to grave to do stuff, or a fusion thing. So anyhow, luckily he's set 2. We draw Cyclone in the draw phase. We're just going to try and pop the Trap Trick in case it was like a Schism, which I believe can only be used in the main phase. Anyhow, he's activated Trap Trick, and then set a Sinister Shadow Games, which means like, oh, this is definitely pure Shaddai. Oh, this is definitely pure 2015. Wanted their card back, buddy. Bloody hell. Anyhow, we activate our Gold Sarc to banish Resonance, and then Resonance and Gokipol, and then he scoops. He's like, oh, you don't have any outs to that, unfortunately. And I think he knew that if he did that, he's going to get negated and stuff. And we've got a lot of stuff going on now. Anyhow, it's all good. Was another win on the clock. 3 wins, eh? Ooh, scores on the door, looking good. So 3 wins in a row. That's pretty nice, eh? So our final game of the day is against Earth Machines. Now this is an interesting deck as it's been sort of making some waves in locals and winner boxes and stuff like that, and doing quite well. I've actually seen quite a lot of it because it's running Ancient Gear box, and I'm part of Ancient Gear Facebook groups or whatever. So we get very excited about that. Anyhow, it does interesting stuff. It goes second well, obviously, with the level 10s and trains and OTKing through Lieb. But it also does quite well going second because you can run a lot of traps, and there's some very good level train-based traps as well. Anyway, so he's opened not amazingly. I think you can do a base combo of just making a level the link to Anger Knuckle. You'll see in a second. But our hand is fantastic. We've also got 2 board clears, spells and monsters, and then we also have spot removal and also extension. So this is really good. We basically have got game in this hand in the form of making Dragoon. Anyhow, he's making the link 2 just by discarding to summon Mechana and then normaling the box. And he's setting 2 with the trap trick and the urgent schedule, and then that's it. And then bullet train's adding a box in the end phase, and then it boxes then adding the anchor drill. So anyway, we've conjured the thing just in case something weird comes up from it. And then Lancaster back row, he's adding Derricane off the schedule, and then we're Slumber, normal the Resonance, link 2 into the Anaconda, adding the Doom Zuzza, and then summoning our own Kaiju, and then making Dragoon, and that's enough because I think he worked out his game. Anyhow, game 2, we know that this deck goes well second, so we side quite heavily to go first. So that's running the Metaverses and the Heat Waves and such. But we have not drawn well at all. We've drawn both parts of Dragoon, and that's really not amazing. So we made a few decisions here. So obviously we normal the Gokupol, and we can use that to then make a basic Dragoon. So the question here was to summon the parallel to chain block the Gokupol, and maybe make something with the parallel, or just go with the Gokupol and use the parallel to be discarded off the Dragoon to negate something. Anyhow, we end up trying to make just using the Gokupol, not using the parallel. And unfortunately, the Gokupol obviously meets the Ash, which is sad, but anyhow. So we just set our impalm and pass. For turn, he drew Forbidden Droplets anyway, so there wasn't going to be much hope. I'm not going to pretend I know what Earth combo does. I know he's going to basically end on, what's it called? Basically make a Lieb or a Gustav Max, but anyhow. Harvester I know is the level modulator, so I imperm that to try and stop any debating up into higher levels, but unfortunately he can just add level 10 off the Anger Knuckle, and then that's basically game. And then so yeah, he summoned Goose Neck action, burn for 2k, and I know that was it. Anyhow, we get to go second again, which is great. So we side a bit more hand trappy base because I didn't realise how much this deck actually summons when it gets going. So we had to put the Nibiru's in, took obviously the Heat Waves and stuff out, and I think that's about it really. Anyhow, for turn we've drawn quite well. Again, the parallel and the Gokupol. Always the same sort of hands. Anyway, he's not drawn well, and especially with our hand disruptions, he's not gonna have a fun time. He's got no normal summon, and he can't use urgent schedule. Obviously, I think this is his only choice, but he doesn't choose to play it. He just sets the schedule, and it passes. So we normal the Gokupol, summon to Almirage. Effective parallel, we're using it this time to block it. Summon the squad off the Gokupol, summon the aerial parallel, and exudes into a Tornado Dragon, popping the schedule. He obviously then adds bullet train, but whatever. I'm not really sure there was a huge way we could have got a game there. So we basically just make a Anaconda and make our Dragoon. This means we've got back row removal, we've got negate from Dragoon, and we've got interruption in the hand. I'm feeling sitting pretty quiet now, honestly. For turn, he's drawn a Gamma, which is okay. Anyway, he's activated the redeployment, which I believe is basically a combo starter, as you add 2 Machina cards, and that's like really useful for it, obviously. Anyway, we ash that. He activates Gamma, and we activate our Dragoon, and he scoops up. But yeah, we do quite well in the second turn, our hand, unfortunately, and I think honestly their deck does do better going second. So I think going against another hard second deck is kind of sad for him. anyhow, he just didn't draw what he needed to draw. But yeah, let's go look at how we are doing on the rankings. So let's just show that I've only done 4 games since the last session. So it's only the 4 since the last go, which was the, I think, Invoked. Dogmatic Invoked anyhow. But let's go check the profile. And oh yeah, of course we need to update our our tally. So yes, and yes. Wonderful. That's all good. So we only need about this is 15 games, so we've only got, so that's 3 losses in 15 games. Very good, Andrew. Very pleased. We need a couple more to get the blue eyes, which would be nice. Anyhow, let's have a look at our ranking. So 6-5-3-5. Okay, it's not too bad. We've still got a little while to go. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys. Would love a little bit of feedback from you. Would you like me to do a combo sort of talk throughs as it is, and sort of like do like MBT does, which is like, you know, normal Alistairs, Alistair effect, add the invocation, then link off to Almirage, link into Gardener, such and such, and like explain it like that in a quick formation, or would you just prefer me just rabbiting and rambling on? Yeah, I'm not the most eloquent, so that might be a bit difficult. But anyway, let's that's everything from me today. Thank you so much for watching as always, and I'll see you later, nerds. Bye.
I'm a giant ballpark one trick. God, this was amazing. Yo, really good effort, dudes. Really good effort.